Scott,
What's up, Eric?
I got an idea.
Tell me about it. The Idea Tank Podcast. $1 million ideas coming at you now.
You're in the Idea Tank, where we change the world one idea at a time. Thanks for listening.
Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you here on our inaugural podcast. What do you think, Eric?
I'm excited.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to change the world today with planting a couple seeds.
Absolutely.
So one thing we want to know is why would we be giving out $1 million ideas?
I know. Are we that generous? Yes. Yes, we are. Do we have an ever-flowing spring of ideas so that if we give away these ideas, we just have more coming right after?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Yeah.
I tend to think that our ideas they're kind of a natural resource in a lot of respects, because you grow for a season, you harvest them, do what you can with them, and then you kind of learn from those ideas and then go replant. And it's kind of a cycle, because new ideas spawn new ideas. Like before the iPhone, for example, there was the idea of an app, or the idea of an Airbnb did not exist.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's all kinds of new ideas that revolve around apps, and we have some of them. So
I never understood why I needed to touch my phone. If I had a nice button, I was satisfied until the iPhone came. Now I got to touch the phone.
You like the just one single button? Well,
I've had old phones. I used to judge phones based upon their button layout, right?
Okay. You like the QWERTY keyboard on your phones?
I never liked the keyboard because I didn't really start texting until I got an iPhone.
Okay.
To your point.
Okay.
That technology, that idea made other ideas possible.
Absolutely. So, yeah, again, welcome to our inaugural podcast. We're really excited. And really, Eric, I want to know, why are you here today? Why do you want to give out your ideas?
Ideas. Number one, I got them. Lots of them. Number two, I'm generous. I want to share them with the world. Number three, this is probably the most important thing. I'm not a tycoon. Are you a tycoon, Scott?
No, not nearly at all.
Chances are these ideas, they are never going to get done, because ideas are one thing, but execution is a whole nother ball game. And that's really why there are no paid idea men. It's largely about the execution. So
it can be dangerous to be an idea guy, right?
Yeah.
Because you can be the guy that just, hey, I got an idea for this to solve this problem, but never do it. And in a work environment, that can be dangerous.
Absolutely.
Because you're always pointing out the problems but never fixing them.
But if you just had the thought, well, that's not dangerous, that's enjoyable, I want to hear these ideas. Welcome to the podcast. That's exactly why we're doing this. Look, if you expected to hear the game-changing plans that are going to affect Uber and Airbnb and solve world hunger and all sorts of other problems, probably not the show for you. We've got a lot of fun ideas. We're going to have fun discussing them. This is really an enjoyable podcast for those reasons.
Exactly. I'm going to add on to your last statement about, like, we're just here to share ideas, right?
Right.
We don't necessarily have the skills and the capabilities to go do these ideas, right? Or the money or the time.
Correct.
But we hope one of our listeners out there, somebody behind that's got earbuds in or is listening in the office or wherever you're at, we hope that you take this idea, that you have those skills, the capability to take these ideas and go run with them. We're kind of just planting seeds in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Free seeds for you.
Free seeds. Yeah. So in doing some research for this over the weekend, I came across a website. It was called Idea Bay, like an eBay for ideas, which is really interesting, I thought. And that
auction off ideas?
Yeah, auction off ideas. Our ideas are for free. So you can take these ideas and just go do them. And let us know how you're doing with these ideas. If you go take these ideas, go do it. So, Eric, how are you going to change the world today?
Scott, the podcast revolution is underway, and I have an idea to fan the flame.
Ooh, that's steamy.
Ho! Scott, how are you going to change the world today?
I am going to make your Airbnb experience just a little bit better.
Great.
Yeah, Airbnb is great.
All right.
So, should we dive in?
Let's dive into the tank.
Let's go.
Quick thanks to our sponsor, OutsourceMyFunding.com. If you need a small business loan and the bank said no, you have plenty of options. In fact, too many options. Outsource My Funding is like priceline.com for all of your funding needs. Check them out. On with the show. All right, Scott, like I said, podcast revolution, we're part of it. We're an unarmed revolution. We're taking over the world of ideas. I heard somebody talk about this where education, it's changing because university used to mean it's a center, it's a repository. That's where all the wisdom is contained. You have to go to the university to be around wise people and absorb the wisdom. That's how you get educated. You go to the university. But where's the wisdom stored today?
In the cloud.
Yeah, the internet, really.
Yeah, it's stored on the internet. I can go to YouTube and learn whatever I wanted to about math or physics or, any type of topic. YouTube has a video for it. In fact, I remember when I was at school at Texas A&M.
Should we whoop?
Yeah.
Ugh, we should have whooped. Whoop!
There we go.
We've been outed. We're in the 2%.
So I don't know if you ever remember the name Amy Austin. Does that ring a bell?
Oh man, I got a story behind this too.
Right? She so for background, Amy Austin was I think it was a calculus teacher,
calculus professor,
right? Calculus professor, where she posted all of her videos online, and students. It didn't matter what class you were in, if who you had as a professor, as long as you were taking like the Calc 1 or Calc 2 or 3 or whatever it was, that her videos were, like those are the videos that you go to actually learn.
And what was she doing in the videos?
She was just doing problems, just simple problems. Like if I saw her on the street, I don't think I would even recognize her. I would recognize the hand probably.
Yes, this is how I got to. We went to Scott and I went to the same school,
Texas A&M,
same age, but I went 4 years earlier, so I'm actually part of the story.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Did you have Amy Austin?
I had Amy Austin for one class, but she started these videos, and it used to be an actual camera, looking at her hand drawing with a Sharpie.
No way.
And then she got the like a tablet. Before there were iPads, she bought a tablet for this purpose.
So you saw the revolution.
I did. I approached her for a business idea.
No way.
I did. I emailed her, and then did I meet with her? I think I just emailed back and forth. So I approached her with a business proposition that let's take these videos and let's put them on a different site, and let's sell this service because, like you just said, that's how many of us got through calculus.
I think I would say all of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I learned calculus between 10 p.m. and midnight based on those videos.
Yes.
And
I did too, but it was at IHOP.
Okay. She had no interest because she's a good professor.
Yeah.
She's going to be there as long as she wants. She said she would have to re-record those videos because those they were owned by the university.
Okay.
But when there's a good idea, which she had, and she even partially executed, if you don't execute, somebody else will.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember somebody tried to take this same concept and create something called YouTube.com/edu. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
It was a video database of college professors teaching their class.
Okay.
But what
was it like students holding up a phone and recording?
No, it was universities that kind of had the mentality that this is open source free stuff.
Okay.
Right. It was partnership between YouTube and these people.
Okay.
Might even been before YouTube was owned by Google, maybe.
I didn't know YouTube was owned by Google.
It is now.
Okay.
At one point it was not.
Wow.
A long time ago. But they have this idea that this is where it's going to go. of course, we got to share the repository of wisdom, which is the university. But they really didn't even see it coming that, no, there's more wisdom outside the university, and there are people like Amy Austin, who is an excellent communicator, an excellent teacher. There's people that can teach it better and do it for free. What do we have? What's his name? Khan Academy?
Okay.
That's where it came from. So big picture here, right, is there's wisdom out there, and you don't just have to get that wisdom through a lecture, 50 minutes at a time, repeated multiple times a day in case of university. You don't have to be on AM talk show anymore. And it's cool that you are wise about politics, but can you be this exact political leaning, and can you sell survival food? That seems to be the qualifications to get on AM radio. Super conservative and
zombie shelters.
Yeah. And there's plenty of people. It's like, well, I don't know anything about that, but I've got great wisdom about the causes of World War One. There's a podcast called Hardcore History. Great podcast for a couple things. And here's where I'm going with this. That wisdom is out there. It is being currently communicated through podcasts in a way that's never been done before. Long format, short format. In my opinion, a better way than any university has ever done. How do I share it, though? So the premise of my idea is that this information is great. The problem, though, is I can't get that information to my friends. The iTunes app. When I share a podcast, and this has happened, I've shared a podcast with you, Scott. Do you remember this?
No.
And I've gotten this with several people. You share a podcast. You use the in-app feature with the podcast app with the iPhone.
Okay.
It sends a text message to that person with the podcast. And you think, great, now they know the podcast. You get a response back that says, which podcast are you talking about? All it did was it sent me a link to all the podcasts in the channel.
Oh, yes. Was this with Right Path Real Estate?
Right Path Real Estate, or maybe Bigger Pockets. But all these things were listing hundreds of episodes in these podcasts.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go scroll through all of those and try to find it.
Even if I texted you the name of the episode, it's a pain.
Yeah, it's going to be a pain because average podcast is probably at least 20 minutes long to an hour long. And I just don't want to scroll through the whole thing.
Of course not. I mean,
unless you recommended listening to the whole thing, of course.
Right. But even if I did, that's like someone saying, oh, you should read this book. My response is, well, I'm not going to.
No.
So why don't you just
can be really
me?
honest with me and tell me you're not going to read it.
Right.
Yeah.
With podcasts, not only do I want to share the exact episode, I need to give you the snippet. I need to give you the little taste that said to me, this person is worth my attention. This person is worth my time. So here's the solution. And I need you people out there to go and do this. You out there in Silicon Valley, make this happen.
This is Eric planting the seed.
Yes.
Plan away.
All right. As I'm listening to the podcast, I need a button. And that button is just a star. And I press that button when I heard something that was enjoyable. It bookmarks it. Because often I listen to podcasts in the car, so I can't be having, some complicated interaction. When I press that button, it bookmarks it, and I can go back and take that snippet around, maybe the first 15 seconds before that. And of course I can adjust.
Yep.
And share that through social media. Because it's that snippet that I need to send. How can that be better? Voice to text feature. So not only when around my star can I share the audio track, but it takes that audio and turns it into text so that one, I can see exactly the quote that I wanted to share and make sure that I'm, doing a little select. When you tap your text message and you select and you drag out to
yep.
I want to just share what I want to share. I want to be able to send it on Twitter, on Instagram, but also do the correct audio.
Okay.
And that's how we need to share podcasts that are changing our lives and give people taste so that they can buy in and
Absolutely.
They can have their lives changed.
Absolutely.
That's how we fan the flame of the podcast revolution, Scott. What do you think?
I like it. I think the first implementation of that plan should be with the Idea Tank podcast.
Yeah. Because let's be honest, the things we've just been talking about, you want to share them with your friends.
All over, spread it all over social media. But the real value of it is just like the idea. There's probably 15, 30 seconds of what we've been talking about so far that's really, really valuable, really resonated with somebody, and they want to take that and share it with somebody.
Right.
And then if they're interested and they want to know more, they can go back and listen to it.
You ever get the email with a link to an article that's really long? Someone says you should read this?
Yeah, I have. And I never read the long article. I might click on it and then scroll down and see how long the article is. And just I'm not going to read this. In fact, just the other day I was looking at on a website, and by each article title it said 2-minute read, 7-minute read.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is really interesting, which basically says, I only have time to read 2 minutes, or only have the mental capacity to read 2 minutes, or, I'm feeling more contemplative tonight, so maybe I might read a 10-minute article.
It's a trust thing, right? I mean, everybody has something to say. There's a lot more, breadth to information that's available.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we might be used to a certain depth.
Yeah.
But now it's not there. So how are you going to earn my trust that it's worth me reading?
Yeah. So your idea really helps focus in on getting to the heart of something that was impactful to you and spreading that idea.
Absolutely. It's basically tweeting quotes.
Yeah.
For podcasts.
Yep. You can call it pod tweet.
Yes. I independent of how generous I am, I'm going to go trademark that.
Yes. All right, ready for deconstruction?
Yes.
So I like the idea. I really do. I don't see a lot of difficulty in implementing the idea. I think it would probably spread fast. I mean, the difficulty in implementation is how do you actually do the nuts and bolts. But I'm sure there's some Silicon Valley app developer out there that's good at doing this kind of stuff and could do that.
There are. We understand. To some people we're sounding real pie in the sky. What's the?
And we are.
We are. Yeah, we are definitely.
We're the idea tank. This is kind of one big brainstorming session.
But we also know that there are machines out there that can get this done quickly. They can raise millions and millions of dollars quickly, get the right engineers on these jobs.
Exactly.
And that's not us.
Yep.
I'm fine with that.
Absolutely.
Well, Scott, I'm pretty happy you're struggling with the deconstruction phase.
Yeah, I can't find a lot of holes to poke in this right now.
This is the first idea. I saved a good one for the first episode.
Good. I like it. Trying to think how to skewer this thing, and I can't.
Let me see if I can skewer it. I mean, besides the obvious that easier said than done. We covered that.
Absolutely. But there's, like you said, there's machines out there that are cranking out apps like this.
This would be a good time to also say that if you are in the industry, if you are one of those machines and you know exactly why this would never work, because that is a thing. So from my experience going to different cities, like looking at the property value problems, affordability of housing problems in San Francisco, there's some government regulations that cannot be moved. And that's why we have that. There's certain things, there are certain things that will make an idea not executable. So if you know those things, you're in the industry, tweet us at Idea Tank Podcast or Instagram us, and please use a filter and hashtag filter.
All of it.
And let us know. And we'd love to hear of why these ideas would or would not work.
And if you guys have an idea of your own that's related to this, maybe just piggybacking off Eric's idea to make it better.
Tweet us at Idea Tank Podcast.
I've got 6 words for you.
Go on.
Somebody has got to do it.
Another thanks to our sponsor, OutsourceMyFunding.com. What they are is a one-stop shop for small business lending needs. If you have a small business and you've been around for 2 years successfully, the bank will still tell you no, or you could simply want something faster and smoother. Plenty of options out there, but what are you going to do? Call every single one of them? What are you going to do? Get 6 brokers on the line for you to help? Well, maybe. If you got some complicated problems that need to be solved, get some help. But if you have a simple capital need, find all your options at once. Just like priceline.com searches multiple airline providers and hotels at once, find the same service for your small business lending needs at outsourcemyfunding.com. Back to the show. All right, Scott, are you ready to jump into the idea tank?
Let's dive in.
What is your idea?
So, have you ever stayed at a really nice hotel?
I have.
Yeah, and what kinds of things do they do to you, and specifically to the room when you walk in to make it feel like you're staying in a really nice place?
Oh, they have that tray where they have the glass, some tea, some coffee. They got your towels all folded up.
Mm-hmm.
Are these the type of things you're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. They put mints on the pillows. They have really nice shampoos and lotions, and maybe even a bottle of champagne if you're really, really ritzy.
Yeah,
I haven't had the champagne ever.
Me neither.
So when you stay at an Airbnb, do they have those types of things?
Not
in general.
It certainly depends on the Airbnb. I've had some where it was bottom price for a reason.
Yeah.
And some that put together maybe a snack basket, which adds a lot. It really does.
Absolutely. Now, do you think that with the people that were putting out those snack baskets, do you think someone like that would get higher reviews, which ultimately translates to higher sales for them, more people staying at their place, if they were to leave out the soaps, the shampoos, the snack baskets, maybe a little like here's what's in the area to do type thing?
So I went to an oil change place. It was maybe $30 more than others, but they left me an Andes Candies mint on my dashboard when they were done.
Just one little one?
One little mint
Not
with
a whole
a thank you card in it.
And wow.
I came back.
No grease spots?
No grease spots.
Okay.
A-class service. I left them a review. I came back one more time. I didn't go back the third time. It was $30 more than everywhere else.
Yeah.
But it mattered.
Yeah. It that kind of stuff does, because people want to feel like they're coming home. They want to feel like they can trust these people. So my idea is to implement basically an Airbnb supply company, a supply company that supplies all of these Airbnbs with all the soaps, these nice care packages, if you want to call them that, to people staying at an Airbnb.
Yeah.
And so this company have a website and order things in bulk and then send them out and put together little packages together, depending on what types of if you want like a really high class thing or medium or even a lower class package. So a website where you can go to and order these packages, and you don't have to put them together yourself because your time is valuable. You don't want to be spending. A lot of these people are entrepreneurs,
right?
That host these Airbnbs, and so they realize that their time is valuable. So they don't want to spend the time to put together and go gather all these supplies individually, which probably they're getting them from Walmart,
right?
And then you're just paying a middleman there, and so. Yeah, you go to our website, they come prepackaged, and you can just leave them out. And you can buy bulk soaps, bulk shampoos, lotions for your Airbnb.
All right. Private labels?
I think an Airbnb private label would be wonderful in this business.
So you're talking like you would have the Airbnb logo on your soap?
Some of them, yeah.
Or if I had, panther Airbnb homes. I could have a nice fierce-looking panther on my bar of soap.
Yeah, your own, like, you brand your Airbnb, brand your individual house.
All right.
So that that creates a memorable image and something that they can pass on to other customers that are interested. Like, hey, this cougar house, this panther house was pretty awesome.
So I remember talking about this before.
Yes.
And I had a question for you before that you didn't think I had much value, so I'm gonna throw it at you again here.
Okay.
When I go to an Airbnb, I'm a single guy.
Mm-hmm.
I want the bottom of the barrel. I want the big tube of shampoo that said, "You ain't paying for any of this." Would you have a large bottle option?
No, I don't like the large bottle option.
Okay.
And like, I'm thinking of the dispensers that are on the side of like where they come up to, in my mind, is like the large dispensers are in a locker room.
Oh yeah.
In the group shower.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like when I go shower at an Airbnb, I just don't want to be thinking like that. I want my own private shower.
You don't want the feel as if you're with a group of other men.
No, thank you.
Minus the men.
No, thank you.
That's fair.
Fraternity life was enough.
Did you have group showers ever in your life?
Oh, yeah.
What stages? When did you have group showers?
Middle school. Middle school gym class.
Mm-hmm.
High school gym class. All throughout my first 4 years of college at University of South Dakota.
Wow. At your dorm? Or at
it was gym? Not at the dorm. It was at the fraternity house.
The fraternity house had group showers.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm making a face that goes, what?
Yeah, it was an older house that we were in, and then after that, it's no more group showers except at like the locker room here at the Gilruth Center, which is our workout facility,
right
at NASA.
At NASA, you just kind of snuck that in there as if we failed to mention at the beginning that if any of this stuff gets too difficult, and we need a rocket scientist.
I am not that person.
You're not? You're not considered a rocket scientist?
I don't actually work on the rocket engines. I work on basically the environmental control and life support systems for spacecraft.
Want me to translate that for the common man?
Yes.
It's that thing that Matt Damon wore in the Mars movie.
Exactly.
The blue Protect This House Under Armour with the tubes in it.
Exactly. The one that he cut up. So I don't work on that.
Oh,
quite.
Well, then I guess I cannot simplify this.
I'll translate it.
Go ahead.
I'm a fancy HVAC person. I'm a fancy AC repairman.
There you go.
That's it. Or car radiator repairman.
Yes. So, where were we?
But we do it for space. So where were we going with the Airbnb idea?
Oh, the Gilruth Center is the gym at NASA.
Yep.
Which is open to the community because I'm not a rocket scientist nor a NASA employee, but I am a member of the Gilruth Center, and I'm terrified of their. I shower in the handicap section because it has a nice little curtain.
Oh, okay.
It covers you, and if you touch it with your arm, it's got that slime on it.
Oh,
what is
gross.
this slime? Yeah. What is that stuff?
I don't know. I don't generally shower there.
Yeah, I have opted just to drive home sweaty, which is gross on a different level. Pick your poison.
But you're in Houston, and it's 90% humidity in August, and you're sweating one way or another.
It is, right? I mean, at a certain point, if you're moving to Houston or a place called Southeast Asia, at a certain point you realize that you're just going to be wet and or stinky.
It's part of life.
It is.
And this is why people need good soaps when they go stay at an Airbnb.
Bring it
good
back.
Packages to make them feel like, oh, I don't need to be hot. I don't need to be sweaty. I'm comforted. My Airbnb is nice and cool.
There you go. Yeah, so I think all right, deconstruction. Are you ready?
Deconstruct it.
I don't know if I have a deconstruction because anything negative that I have in my brain is because I'm not the target audience for these things.
Yeah, absolutely. Your target audience for this is not the single bachelor.
No.
It's just looking for a really cheap place to stay. It's more for families. Like, after being married for about a year, I do find that there would be value in making sure that my wife feels comforted in staying at a nicer Airbnb. In fact, we're staying at one, not this weekend, but the next weekend.
I am embracing the concept of there's just gut feel in a lot of these things. Like when you do reviews, I used to filter my gut feel and reaction from reviews that I did, but now I realize that people who read reviews are looking for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know, like, what?
Yeah, I love gut feelings. I go by it. Sometimes to my detriment, I do go by my gut feelings mostly. Mm-hmm.
And something like that would increase the gut. What's the gut meter? What's the scale that we're working with on a gut feeling?
I've thought about this at work a lot because a lot of what I do, I'm not really good at all the analysis that people do. I've got people that are 10 out of 10s at doing this analysis stuff. I'm not. And I'm more of a gut feeling type of person. And what I call it is I'm informing my intuition. Informing
your intuition. I don't get it. Go.
You don't get it? Okay.
Informing
my gut feeling.
Yeah.
Like, can you fool yourself?
Yeah.
In thinking your gut is right. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you fool yourself into thinking your gut is right? Absolutely.
Yes. No, it's basically informing your gut on, am I fooling myself here, or is my intuition correct?
So you're listening to your gut, but then you're filtering your gut.
Filtering it.
Right through your brain.
Yep.
And out your mouth. I think that's something Stephen Colbert used to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I bet he did the action Eric just pointed to his stomach.
From
and
the
then
stomach, through the brain.
Through the brain.
The mouth.
Yeah. Stomach to the brain, and then out to the mouth.
He was doing that making fun of Bill O'Reilly. He used to counter arguments with his gut
Did he just
feeling.
go straight from the gut to the mouth?
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I would agree that much like the little snack packs, not the pudding, but the combination of granola bars and the like, it adds a lot of the value. So I could see why, especially for, I'm thinking females,
yeah,
it takes the Airbnb experience up to the next level.
Absolutely.
You got it. Someone's got to do it.
Absolutely. Somebody has got to do this idea. Well, that's our show for today. Somebody's got to do it.
If you have an idea to share, tweet us. We'll mention you and the idea on the show.
What if one of our listeners has already done one of our ideas?
Tweet us at Idea Tank Podcast.
But what if one of our listeners is in the industry and know why our idea won't work?
Tweet us at Idea Tank Podcast. If these ideas are yours, take them and change the world. We'll see you next week.
See you guys. Somebody has got to do it. Okay. I was like counting really quick. I'm like, I hope that's right.